What is going on, guys? This is Dr. McFarland, and I think my voice is going to hold up. I've been kind of hoarse the last few days, and I've been leery of making videos, but I'm going to make it happen tonight. So I want to make sure I get the switches in here and get the screen going. So there we are. This is going to be viewer-submitted Headrush rigs. Thanks for the handful of people here who have given me their rigs to rate and review. And if I make any changes, I'll be sure to do save as new rig, so that way I don't override anything that they already have. And then I will send those back to them, and then they can compare to what they already have, and maybe improve upon some things that they're currently doing that could be a little bit better. So what I'm going to start off with, I'm going to set up a new set list, and I'm actually going to do this in song mode. So song number 1 is, we're going to call him Andy W. All right, so there's Andy W, and he submitted a Plexi rig, and he submitted a Soldano rig. All right, so we're going to check those two out. And then we're going to say save VSHR number 20. All right, so there's the first song. Then we're going to just simply say add new song. And then we're going to say whole. Not really sure. And then he submitted the Irish lead. I wrote these down on a piece of paper here so I could keep up with what was what. Lead me on. And then he did a deep throat, and then he did a pop line. So you can see I just simply tap and it adds it in there. And then I'm going to press save. Now we're going to do another song. So add new song. This is my friend from Brazil, Rickmas. What's up, Rickmas? And I'm going to scroll up here. And he submitted Love Bites. All right, so save that. I'm going to do another song from Sergey. Or Sergi. Not really sure. Sobchenko. All right, and he submitted S Distortion, which I'm going to assume the S stands for the S in his name. So maybe that's how he keeps up with the rigs that he makes. And then we'll press save for that. And then we're going to add one more song. If I can type. Big Steve Green. All right. And then he did Just Like Pink. He did A5. So I'm not sure what that means. And then he did Mission Impossible Drop D, rig number 4. So maybe he's numbering his rigs 5-4. I'm not really sure. But that's how that works. So that's save. And then we're going to go down to VSHR number 20. We have 11 rigs in here. So what we can do is, all right, so we're staying within the same. All right, so we can scroll through the set list just like it is. And this is going to be pretty fun. So, all right, I'm going to hold down rig view here. And we're going to go to song mode. So we can see song number 1 is the Andy Went. And there's Plexi and there's Soldano. So we can choose the rigs we want right there, or we can go, you know, the different rigs. And if we had more than 4 rigs in this song, we could choose the bank, go up and down, but we don't. We just have the 2. And then I can swap to a different song. See, it says whole wit, and there's my 4 rigs right there. Then it says next is Rickmas. So it gives you the before and the after song. So if you're playing in a live situation, you can see, all right, yes, I do have the next song coming up, and that is correct, so that's good. So you can just hit the next song, and maybe you're doing a cover band, and the next song is Love Bites. Right, that's kind of fun. And then here's the next one. So we got 2 rigs in there, then we got 2 rigs in the last one. Then then that's the end of my set list, right? So I gotta scroll all the way back to the beginning. And there's Andy Witt. All right, so let's plug in a guitar and see what we got here. Oh, sorry. That's a little loud. All right, so I'm playing through a FRFR 1x12. And I'm going to tune real fast. Yes, the tuner works really well, contrary to popular opinion. And I think it'd be really fun to do this at least once a month going forward. So the first 3 weeks of the month, we're going to do viewer suggested Headrush rigs. And then the last week of the month, we can do viewer submitted Headrush rigs. So that way we have, we can review your rigs more often and not have to do it every 10 shows or 5 shows or 20 shows or whatever it is. So I think that'd be fun going forward here. Wow. All right, Andy, let's see what we got going on here. We're going to do classic mode. All right, so there's all of our songs. We can see there, which is really cool. I like that. And then I actually want to go in and I want to, all right. So something about this is really, really loud. And we have a amp and an IR. And we have a graphic EQ. And then we're not adding any gain there. But we do have a lot of high end going on. Okay. And then we have some reverb. All right, so let me turn this down and see what's going on. All right, pretty good so far. All right, so we have a dynamic, we have a compressor, chorus, and distortion before the amp. Then we have an IR, graphic EQ, and reverb. So let's check the graphic EQ. Sorry, let's check the IR. He has the gain down to 14, so that's good. Let's check the output. All right, his output is going into the yellow. It's still fine. I prefer mine to be at least 3 bars below 0. But let's keep going. Let's check the dyne comp here. So his threshold really isn't doing a whole lot. He's got a high ratio rate, but it's really not doing a whole lot. So let's bypass all this stuff. And let's just see what the amp sounds like with the IR. All right, that sounds good. He's using one of these stock IRs that came with the last update, and it's bright, and that's perfectly fine. Negative 14 dB of gain, that's fine as well. I'm going to say save his new rig 002 Plexi Nate, and I'm not sure where it put that song. You probably add it to the very last of the chain, but sorry, let me tune one more time here. I probably need to change the strings on this guitar. I hadn't done that in a while. All right, here we go. All right. All right, I'm gonna compare. All right, let's first of all, let's see what this graphic EQ is doing. All right, that is very, very bright, and I'm not a big fan of that. All right, so far we've fixed a lot of the issue that I'm hearing. It's just way too bright sounding. Let's just see for fun what happens if we put in a cab with the MD421 off axis. See what that sounds like. All right. Maybe we can take that out, put the IR in. All right, that one has a lot more mid-range to it. Let's change the microphone. All right, I'm fine with that sound. I'm just kind of comparing. All right, let's address the compression. It's not doing a whole lot at the threshold being at 65, so let's lower that down pretty good. And we have all these other presets available. Let's try .com, which is my own personal preset. All right, that's fine. Let's see what a multi-chorus does before the amp. All right, that's cool. All right, so I'm kind of changing my own little stuff here. Now, the last video I put out on Tuesday, it was showing me using an FRFR speaker and a real cab and a real amplifier. Sorry. So whenever I'm using a cab or an IR, I like to put it on the very end. Okay, and I only do that because if I'm using the alternate output source, in this case, I can put it on IR input. What that's going to do is bypass the impulse response going to my amplifier. And I'll go ahead and turn that on right now so you can hear it. So that way I'm not getting a double whammy of a physical speaker sound and an impulse response, okay? So I suggest putting it at the end. And then let's check out this reverb here. All right, I think that's good. It really depends on what kind of sound you're going for. If you want a more of a rock, like a really tight rock sound, I probably want to put on big theater. Let's just try like a medium room and make the decay nice and low and get like a very natural room sound. All right, cool. I think that sounds good. And then let's throw on some distortion here. All right, now let's see what the graphic EQ does. All right, it's still pretty bright, so I'm gonna bring this down a lot. We don't need it to be that bright. Now it's okay if we scoop the mids a little bit. Let's bring it down a dB, and we can boost the lows, which is fine. All right, I think it's a decent sound there. All right, DC distort. We got the gain down pretty low. And, oh, that's fine. Let's bring up the bass a little bit here. All right, I'm going to try and, my stand has been not working right. All right, there we go. I really need to get a new stand here. I want to get this a little closer to the screen. It's still not going to focus all that well. But it might be a little bit better than it was. So, all right. We can work with that. I want to make sure you see the screen. The switches aren't going to matter a whole lot at this point. All right, so there's Plexi innate. And so what we've done was we bypassed everything. We listened to just the original amping IR, and then we kind of built it from there, okay? Let's swap over to the Soldano. Okay, that sounds good so far. Once again, we have the impulse response kind of in the middle. I'd prefer it to be on the outside. And something that we did, let me do save new rig. 001 Soldano Nate. Okay. I guess I could call it Doc. I don't know, whatever. Something I didn't do on the Plexi is on the high cut, you can bring it down a little bit. You don't need the full 20,000 hertz spectrum. Yeah, sorry about that, David. I'm trying to work on this live stream stuff. And then we can also bring up the low cut a little bit, maybe like 80 to 100 hertz. Just see what happens there. There's always something with these live streams. I did buy a new camera last week, and then I'm waiting to find a good deal on a cam link. And what that's going to do is allow me to use a mirrorless camera to live stream straight to my computer, so that way I can get better audio and better video for these streams. But for now, I'm just using my iPhone. So and that was the original one. All right, sorry about that. What I might have to do is go in and do that. And then there's my Soldano Nate. So we're going to say Plexi Nate and Soldano Nate. All right, there we are. So now we got Plexi. Now we got the original rigs and the modified rigs. All right. That kind of worked out pretty good. Nah, I don't want a new one. Discard. All right, here we go. So there's the original Plexi sound. And here's the modified sound. All right, so I pretty much just tamed the reverb and the high-end frequencies a little bit. And then I do want to go in and cut some of these frequencies here. Let's just do like the 10 and go to like 100 on the bottom end. Something like that. Shoot. No, I don't want to do that. I just want to do that. All right, here we go. All right, and then we're going to compare it to the other one. All right, now, so if he wants more reverb, all he has to do is just go in and, you know, raise the reverb up a little bit. But that's fine. All right, let's switch over to the Soldano. All right, so once again, we got the same preset going on for the high end, which I'm not too fond of. Let's just go ahead and we're going to swap over to the Nate version. And we're going to bypass the EQ and the chorus and the compression and the reverb. Let's just listen to the amp and the IR. And we do have a Soldano extended range with the gain, presence, volume. The mids are really scooped. Let's bring those mids in there, big boy. Big boy. Turn the presence down. See, so you already got tons of presence and treble. So why would you have all that extra high end in a graphic EQ? It doesn't make sense to me, but that's fine. So we're going to bring that treble down a little bit as well. Keep the presence around there. All right, here we go. Yeah. IR input. All right, so we are bypassing the IR going into the Quilter amp right here. Yeah, sounds great. All right, let's check out the reverb here. I like to keep my reverb mix somewhere between 20 and maybe 10, just depending on how much reverb I want. All right, so far, it sounds really good. Let's turn the graphic EQ on. All right, way too much high end. We'll keep the low mids the same if he wants that scoop kind of sound, but there's no way I'm keeping the high end that high. Let's bring that down. Alright, very cool. And do we need compression for this? Let's turn it on and see what he has. I want to know what preset that is. Is he using a preset? Or is he just kind of setting it to the same stuff? Tight AF? I don't want to say what I think that means. Not gonna do it, mama. Sorry. All right, let's turn the ratio up a little bit. The knee is fine. All right, that's cool. He likes a little bit of chorus, and I'm okay with that. All right, cool. That sounds great to me. I would even go so far as to add a little tape echo and be like, bam, deal with it. Deal with that, folks. All right, so once again, let's keep the mix down around 20. All right, that sounds great. All right, next song. All right, so we're doing an Irish lead, and this is in the song view. Whole Wit. This is from Whole Wit. Thank you, Whole, for submitting these rigs. All right. We got the wall pedal on. I'm going to turn off my amp here. Actually, I'll leave it on. But I'm going to pull the cab toward the end, go back to global settings, and set it to cab input. All right. We're going to do save, new rig. Irish lead Nate. And so far, the only thing that's weird is the wah pedal is after the amp. Normally, you want a filter effect before the amplifier, so I'm just going to drag that up to there. And then you would normally want your compression to be before your overdrives. Not always, but you can have it before your or after your drives if you want. But this is how I would do it. And then tape echo before the reverb. And let's turn the recording level up. Turn that mix down. I don't even have to hear it. I just kind of know the presets I like. There's a lot of pre-delay for that, so let's check it out. All right. So far, let's keep the decay down, and we're going to keep the mix down really low in the pre-delay. Alright, so the preset is garage. Why is it doing that? Weird. Okay. So it kind of sounds like a garage. And then we'll make the gain be like that. All right. All right. And then the tube screamer. Tube screamers are great for tightening up the low end. And let's turn the high up. Alright, that sounds good. I like that one. I'm not really sure what context he's playing this rig in, so I don't want to say that the tape echo is you know, too much, but I'm going to turn the mix down a little bit. Now we can turn the wall panel on. Alright, cool. It's a fat lead tone right there. Sounds good. All right, there's Irish Nate. Let's do Lead Me On. And he has an IR and a cab in here. So I'm going to say save new rig, lead me on, Nate. All right. So I don't want to touch his original rig, so I'm going to start massacring this thing. So I'm going to pull the cab to the end. Let's do MD 421 on that sucker. Okay, we have distortion after the amplifier. There's really no right or wrong, but there is personal preference. I do prefer my distortion before the amp. So let's bypass all this stuff. And I do prefer the reverb to be after the amplifier, but this is what it sounded like before. Alright, not bad. Let's do the distortion. Okay, so what happens is when the reverb is before overdrive or distortion, the distortion is going to overemphasize that reverb. So if you drag it to the end, okay, see here how it's kind of hidden behind the sound. It's not as forward in the mix. Listen to it now. Now, if that's totally what you're going for, that is perfectly fine. But for me, I'm going to drag it after the amp. And we can even go and bring up the mix a little bit. That's fine. Roll the tone down. Alright, that's fine. If he wants a lot of reverb, that's perfectly fine. Let's take the IR out. And let's add in the green jersey. See what we got with that. Let's change the colors here, so we can see them on the screen a little bit better. Something like that. Alright, the Tweed Bassman already sounds great. See, if you like that edge of breakup kind of sound, then that's the one you want to go for. Okay, let me check the comments here. Just check on everybody. What's up? What's up, Mark? That's a great sound. Let's do the DC distort. All right, I like it. I like that one. Deep throat. So this one just has impulse response. Delay and reverb after the amp. That's good. A little bit of compression. Black op. All right. Save new rig. Deep throat Nate. That didn't sound right, but it's fine. Let's see what IR he's trying to use. And I don't have all my custom IRs in here, but let's try Fawn. If he wants to use an IR, we'll give him one. Lighter in the air here. I don't know what that means. All right, put the IR last. About the global settings, go to IR input. So you're using a black lux. Okay. I'm going to give him something I know that he'll have. Let's do it bright. All Something's distorting a little bit, not really sure. All right, so let's check out the compression. This is a cleaner kind of sound. Okay, holding a louder. Gotcha. All right, it's a nice clean sound. So sounds nice. And let's do some compression. Turn the gain down. Attack up a little bit. Ratio's fine. Release is a little extreme. I'm going to turn this amp off over here. That's fine. Let's check out what he did with the para EQ. Boosting some low end, cutting some upper mids, cutting some 2.5K. Okay. Doesn't sound bad. I could go either way with that. I'm gonna keep it off for now. I don't think it needs it. Green JRC. I do prefer to have my black op around 60 to 70% cut. And let's crank up the distortion. All right. That is somewhat okay. I'll live with that. And then let's go into pipeline. We got a Tron filter in here. That's always fun. But I do like to have that before the amp. So let's save new rig. Pipeline Nate. So we're going to do Tron filter before the amp. And before any overdrives, I don't want a spring reverb. Let's see what it sounds like. It is very washy sounding. I'm going to turn off all the reverb just for a moment. Woo. All right, I'm okay with the Tron filter being after the amp. Actually sounds pretty good. And what is he doing with the stuff here? I kind of like this sound without all the reverb. rocking. All right, let's see what this reverb sounds like. It's a lot. There's a lot going on there. Turn the mix down. Rock on, reverb. The drum filter was cool. I'm just not a big fan of all that reverb going on, but I'll turn it up a little bit. All right. I'm good with that one. So we got a bunch of different rigs here. Let's go into the next song. And we're going to do Love Bites. So we have a split rig with a cab at the end, 2 different amps, a chorus and air reverbs, and some overdrive. And all right, cool. Yes, I only play Reverends, like from now till the day I die. So this is the Reverend Warhawk RT. All right, we're missing some balls here. I hadn't heard Love Bites in a while. Love Bites. So maybe he's doing the. Maybe he's doing. All right, so we got 2 different scenes. All right, so that's what's going on. So scene 5, which is what he's calling, is the clean tone. I really can't talk tonight, or really this week. I don't know what's going on. Love Bites. Already used. Oh, let me do this. Nate. Haha, I'll get you. Still feel like we're losing some volume. Let's turn it up a little bit. Is this amp even on? Is it even on? All right, so looks like we got some compression, a little bit of green JRC. Just very low. But when we switch over to scene 6, the mezza is not turning on. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to fix that. So we're going to go edit. We're going to say amp 2 is going to be off. Amp 1 is going to be on. No change. You need to have these either on or off, I prefer. Let's see what the, yeah. See what that does with it on. So now we're swapping amps. Or at least we should be. No, I want to edit this one. See, it says no change. You don't want that. You want it to be either on or off. Okay. On. So amp 2 is on, but amp 1 is off. So he must have added this amp first and then this amp second. So there's amp. Here's a clean scene. Still don't like that. All right, I'm not a big fan of this this setup here, so I'm going to swap it because I can. Yeah. So I don't want this reverb to be on. I don't want the DC distort to be on. I want this amp to do the brunt of the work. All right, so master volume's all the way down. That's a no-no. We can't have that. We cannot have that. The bass, the bass. All right, so let's make the reverb 2 come on this one. And so we're going to hit that, and we're going to make the mix nice and low, just a little bit of ambience. All right, that sounds a lot better to me now. It really does. And in the 80s, they had tons of reverb anyway. So here's a clean tone. So we got gray comp, JRC, chorus. All right, great. And this sounds a little hollow as well. I'm trying to figure out why. Where's that hollowness coming from? Is it this reverb? That could be a little bit better, I think. Yeah, thanks, Mark. I'm going to try and plow through the rest of these here. I got a long way to go, I think. Yeah, I got like 4 more rigs to go. So thanks for watching. All right, this is good. So we're going to go song view. We're going to go to the next song. And let's just see what happens if we go to stomp. Alright, he didn't have any scenes are set up, so that's fine. S-dist, great. S, great, Nate. Alright, so he had an IR and a cab in there. Not a big deal, but let's just make sure I don't have his IR anyway. So let's just see what the amp and cab sounds like by itself before we check anything out. Okay. Soldano clean. Let's crank the master up. Check the output. Our output gain's pretty high. May not need all that. We can go back to the amp. We can turn up the master volume. Alright, so all I've done so far is I've taken the master volume and turned it up. What that does is it allows the amp to bloom a little bit more. So when you dig in, you get some nice overdrive. Let's see what the reverb does. Alright, that's fine, but it's not my taste. Let's bring the mix down. Alright, it's a little bit better for me. And let's do the JRC before, the heavy distortions, stuff like that. Black op. Okay. Alright, that's a good sounding overdrive. The black op is a good one. Alright, so the cut on a Proco Rat actually acts as a low pass filter. So with it all the way down, the high end is going to stay in full bore, and as you bring that up, the high end is going to get rolled off. Okay, so I like to keep mine around 60% or so. Otherwise, it's just going to be way too bright. Alright, and then let's check out the DC distort. Alright, so it's a darker sounding overdrive, even though it's got the treble all the way up. And that's interesting. Alright, so a thing to keep in mind with overdrives is there's a point in the sweep of the gain range to where you're really not adding that much more gain, you're just adding noise. So all I'm going to do is probably bring it down to about 40% instead of 70%. Because all you're getting when you crank it up that high, it's just a lot of flub and not a lot of definition in the sound. So I'm going to bring it down. And then if you want more overdrive, you can always kick in a JRC. Alright, so that sounds good. So here's a clean sound. Here's a little bit of air delay. It's got his ratio at negative 100%. Alright, so I'm going to do a separate video on how to define what all these parameters do within the air and the dyne delay, but I'll do that separately. So alright, that sounds good. And then if I like these two together. And once again, I do like to have my cab last in the chain, just because I do. Alright, and let's go ahead and check out. Can't do it that way. Song, and we're going to go to the Plexi. Alright, that actually sounds pretty good. S69 Plexi Nate. All right. All right, that is a lot of reverb. The time and the size is fine, but I really prefer to have my mix down pretty low. Okay, and what that gives you is okay, what that gives you is a little bit more definition with the dry sound, and you don't have as much reverb on, so that's fine. All right, so one thing I'm going to say about the microphones here is an SM57 is going to be pretty bright. All right, and if you turn it off axis, it kind of lessens the brightness. But an MD421 is going to give you more low end. And if you want it brighter, just turn it on axis. Alright, so it really just depends on if you want it bright or if you want more low end. But that's a good setting right there. That's fine. And let's check out what the amp and cab sound like. All right, that's a great sound right there. Just got a plexiglass 100 watt. The volumes aren't too crazy. Maybe you can stand to bring up the treble just a little bit. And really, other than that, everything sounds pretty good. Let's turn the gray comp on. All right, you really gotta be careful with the gray comp. The more sustain you have, the more drive you're gonna push into the front end of the amp. So just be wary of that. All right, that's a really good sound right there. Let's go to next song. And I'm going to go to song view. So we got Steve Green. What up, Steve? And let's just see what we got going on here. Oh, yeah. So we got rotary EQ. All right, so I might want to go to stomp view. All right, so he has a verse and he has a dirt section here. So he's swapping between the two, which is cool. So just like Pink, I'm not quite sure what that song is. So unless it's some kind of Pink Floyd kind of thing, which is cool. All right, that's cool. Yeah, I like that. But I'm going to go in here and I'm going to add some of that reverb or some of that delay in there because I like it. And we're going to say just like Nate. Yep. All right, so I'm seeing So we got this amp. But when we go to here, we don't have any amps selected. And that is interesting. See, the cabs aren't on. This amp is on and this amp is on. I don't know why that is. That doesn't make sense to me. But alright, I'm not sure what's going on with all that, but I'm going to turn the cabs on. See, one cab was on, but the other cab was off. That's interesting. Okay. Oh, never mind. Okay, this is a cab right here, and that's a head. All right, I got confused for a quick second. All right, here we go. All right, I like that. It's good. Let's go back to our song mode, and we're gonna choose Mission Impossible, which I'm not quite sure if I know how to play this. And once again, all right, the amp is not in there. Let's go to Stomp View. All right, so we got 4 different scenes here. So riff with no amplifier in there at all. Figure, bridge, and that. All right, I don't know what's going on. I don't know the Mission Impossible theme songs, so sorry. All right, there's a lot going on here. All right, I'm going to even out that level a little bit. All right, that is interesting. I'm going to save this. Mish Imp. If I can spell. All right, so let's figure out what we're doing here. All right, so he doesn't have any amp at all. Why do we need graphic EQs in there? I'm not really sure. See, his gain is down really low. I don't want it to be that low. Even with no amp. Even with no amp. Let's turn that up. All right, I'm going to overhaul this thing. And I'm going to see, we got two different courses. We got two different compressors. I'm going to delete one of these compressors here. And I'm going to add an amp. And we're going to make it a Princeton. What in the world just happened? Princeton. All right, there we go. All right, so riff 1, we're going to have dyne on, amp 2 on, multi-course on, amp off, cab is on, EQ is off. And let's have this set to be light purple. All right. Figure 1. Still going to go in, turn off these EQs, turn off the reverb, but leave the delay on. We can probably adjust the EQ volume here. Back to riff. All right, scene 7. Not sure what this is. That's still just a lot of reverb. All right, this is pretty good. If I was in song mode like I am now, I would be more prone to take the Mission Impossible. Yeah, I would take the Mission Impossible rig, and then I would split it off into 4 different rigs. So instead of having scenes, I would just have 4 different rigs. So I'd have song would be Mission Impossible. Rig 1 would be, the scene one that you had. Rig 2 would be maybe the same thing, but just a little bit different. So that way you don't have to have as many blocks in here. You can really tailor the amp choice and the cab per part, and you don't have to worry about having multiple graphic EQs and different choruses and different stuff like that. So I think it'll simplify what you do as far as that goes. And even if you're using a Gigboard or something, you can still have 4. You got 4 rigs across 4 switches, and then you just switch between the different rigs. So that way you can have as much reverb and delay as you want, and it's a very smooth transition for the spillover and all that stuff. So I think it's a pretty long video here. We're gonna end it, and we went through 11 different rigs. Thank you, Andy and Wool, Rigmus, Sergi, and Steve for supplying us the rigs for tonight's video. You all win a prize. I'm not sure what it is yet, but you win something. So thanks for checking that out, and